Hello everyone, it's Jamal Thomas. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. So hope everyone is doing okay today. This is going to be a Herculean effort because I have a lot of videos to get through. And every so often I will see another video that I want to add to the mix. This is one of them. First, while I check my sound and volume, guys, I want to thank everyone who supports the channel, whether it be through Patreon, whether it be through Super Chat, whether it be through sharing videos with me, whether it be through sending me links, liking the videos, all that stuff. Thank you very much. You guys are immense help to the channel, and you keep this channel going on, and I appreciate it. Yeah, I appreciate it a lot. I really do. I get a lot of the links sometimes from, it's one of those things of needing to know what your audience likes. And so having the audience send links and saying, hey, look at this, look at this, look at this. It always helps. And of course, Patreon and Super Chat always helps. To some degree, it's a job, so. Thing I want to talk about, I like the NHS. That sounds weird. Let's rewind that. Of course I like the NHS, but I like the UK. I don't know why I like the UK. There's this weird emotional fixation on the country. No idea why. But regardless of whether I know why or not, it's still there. That tether is there. I like it. It's part of the reason I follow the politics. And it's part of the reason why I want the best for the country. I really do. Now, I say that whether we're talking about Brexit, and I say that whether we're talking about things that are taking place within your country now, meaning your NHS. The Tories are destroying your NHS, and they're going to do it through a predictable pattern of privatization, and then once it gets to a certain point, to take it out in one fell swoop. Now, in this case, the privatization is starting, well, it started under Blair. I'm sorry, give me 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. I'll edit that out. Oh, what did I leave off? Oh, NHS. They're going to privatize one part after the next, taking one plank after the next out of the NHS until they can slowly just kind of eat it away. That's, I would argue, is somewhat what they're doing now. They're taking out your NHS, and in doing so, giving you worse service, while at the same token putting money in the hands of other people that could be put in the hands of, or put into the NHS and the service itself. You must understand, right-wingers have a thing against government providing services. Their basic natural disposition is not to allow it, or at the very least to attack it. Whether that's Social Security, whether that's Medicare, the effect and the well-being of the citizenry matters less to them than getting rid of those services. So yeah, under Trump, the Republicans is going to try to get rid of healthcare, Medicare, Social Security. They've already tried to get rid of Obamacare. It's tepid as private healthcare as that was. The same thing is happening with your NHS. It puts you in mind of the post office in the United States, where the Republican Party is against the post office, against the government providing the mail. And being against the post office providing the mail, they try to put things on it to attack it that the public doesn't fully understand, because the public is not fully attuned to each and everything and the maneuvers that take place in Congress. But those maneuvers that attack it adversely affect the service, in which case they could point and say, oh, look at the service. Look how bad the service is. If this was privatized, if we could put money in the hands of plutocrats while paying people less, we could get a better service. I would make the case that something similar is trying to take place with your NHS, where they're taking out one plank after the next. Your Tory government has already had people in ambulances because they didn't invest in the NHS to the degree that they needed to invest in it. When Theresa May gets up in Parliament and she makes this point of, well, we put in X amount of billions of dollars. Yeah, but how much do they need? It's a difference in those things. It's like saying, well, I put $150 on the rent. Yeah, but your rent may be $300. The $150 is nice. It doesn't quite get to where you need to fund it. So yeah, you have ambulances full of people who are dying because they can't get into the hospital. They haven't funded it enough. Not to mention the people in the hospital themselves have said that they believe that their care is being adversely affected by the cuts that have taken place in the service. And then you have this. This came out. A major study finding that the NHS below average on patient survival for many major illnesses report finds. A study finds Britain's health service performs worse than average in treating 8 out of 12 most common causes of death. If they were funded adequately, would that be the case? The NHS is below average at saving the lives of patients with many of the most common and lethal illnesses, a major study has found. A report by 4 leading think tanks revealed Britain's health service performs worse than average in treating 8 out of the 12 most common causes of death. They include deaths within 30 days of having a heart attack and within 5 years of being diagnosed with breast cancer, rectal, colon, pancreatic, and lung cancer. The UK also has high rates of child mortality around birth, according to the report of the Nuffield Trust, the Health Foundation, the Institute for Fiscal Studies, and the King's Fund. The think tanks acknowledged that healthcare spending in the UK was lower than average in 18 comparable countries studied. But it says Britain has markedly fewer doctors and nurses, as well as fewer CT scanners and MRI machines. Understand what's being said. This isn't we have lack of skill. This is not we don't have the people who could do these jobs. It's lack of funding. They're defunding your health service. And this is the result. You are dying. Brits are dying because of it. The Tories are killing you. Literally. They're literally killing you through their policies. For the most part, important illnesses indirectly causing death, it is consistently below average performer. The reality is that the NHS is not doing as well as its counterparts at saving lives of patients with many of the most common and lethal illnesses. The report titled, How Good is the NHS? Also noted a number of its strengths, including being relatively efficient with low administrative costs and high use of cheaper generic drugs. Yeah, that's good. But the point of the NHS is not to be fiscally, efficient. It's to save lives. It's a hospital. What is the point of a hospital if not to save lives? And if you're getting a heads up, Corbyn gets up there like every other week making this point that you are not funding our NHS adequately. And this report is making this strong case that these people are dying because of it. Brits, well-meaning, decent, hard-working Brits are dying because of it. Just to give you a hint of what you are in for, the ghost of Christmas future. Accept me as your ghost of Christmas future. Look at this. This is what it is in the States. Tories would love to have a system in the States, which is essentially no system. American babies are less likely to survive their first year than babies in other rich countries. Well, that would happen if you don't necessarily have health care. Annual Report 2016. Infant mortality among OECD countries. Hungary is above the United States in infant mortality. Think about that shit. Italy, Portugal, Germany, Israel, Netherlands, Belgium, Switzerland, France, Spain, United Kingdom, Greece. Here's the United States down here with Slovenia and Chile. Life expectancy. Chile beats out the United States in life expectancy. Home expenditures, health expenditures among OECD countries. United States, again. Health spending as a percentage of GDP. Look at us. So, understand what I'm saying. Infant mortality, we're at the bottom. Life expectancy. Life expectancy at birth among OECD countries. Again, we're at the bottom. And then, yet, the amount of money that we spend, nearly twice as much as any other country. But hey, does that make us happier? Not so much. The United States even trailed in the happiness index. I was looking at the happiness index because I was curious about where we were in relation to where everyone else was. The United States report released on Wednesday also found that Americans have gotten less happy even as the United States has grown in wealth. Here's the catch. The wealth is not shared equally, so it doesn't necessarily matter if it grew in wealth. 95% of the wealth went to the top 1%, meaning that the overwhelming majority of the wealth, to some insane Dickens degree, went to top 1%, and even then to the top 0.1 or 0.01%. Look, the point I'm making to you, Britain, is being the ghost of your Christmas future is, as the Tories eat away at your NHS, this is what they're trying to get to. This is where we are. We spend gobs more than anyone else, and yet get less with regards to life expectancy, less with regards to the amount of time or our kids' mortality rates. The Tories are killing your NHS, and in the process, to some degree, with a direct link, you can make the case that they are also killing you. I'm not going to keep this long. I'm just saying. Balthazar, remember when the Tories released the commercial with the magic money birds that would return from the EU and build hospitals if Brexit passed? Well, Balthazar, you know, she's saying she's going to put that money in regardless. She's saying, I am going to put this money into the NHS, even when the money is not there, which is why Jeremy Corbyn kept asking her, where's the money? What are you going to do? Are you going to raise taxes, or are you going to essentially borrow? What are you going to do? And she would never straightly answer that question. So, yeah, Balthazar, she said she was going to put it in, and not so much. So, I'm going to end this here because I don't want to keep this one all that long. I'll be back shortly, like in 10 minutes. Thanks, guys.